For the second part of this lesson, we're going to learn how to graph a line when you're already given the equation in point slope form. So let's start with the first one. Graph the line y minus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 2. So identify the point from the equation. If you remember, we've got our y coordinate that is with our y and our x coordinate that is with our x. But also remember that what you see is not actually the exact ordered pair. It is the opposite. So the point I see is not -2, -3. It is +2, +3, because I see a -2 in my equation and I see a -3 in my equation. You take the opposite. And students tend to flip the x and y coordinates when they're plugging them or when they're pulling them out of an equation. Just remember the y coordinate is with the y and the x coordinate is with the x. So now that we've pulled out the point from the equation, I'm going to plot it. So 2, 3, and you'll do the same with your point that's on your slide. So we've done step 2. Step 1, find the point. Step 2, graph the point. Step 3, identify the slope. So if you look at your equation, there's only one more number. So process of elimination, my slope must be 1/2. So from there, in order to graph the line, we're going to start at the point we plotted, and then we're going to rise and run from there. So start at this point. You do not start at the origin. Okay, a lot of students will start at the origin and they'll go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Well, that won't necessarily, or it'll rarely hit the point that you plotted. You start from the point. So up 1 over 2. I rose 1, ran 2. Do it again, up 1 over 2. You should have a line down here on 4 where it says graph a second point using slope. You can slide that line onto your graph so you're able to create your line. Make sure it goes through nicely and that you put arrows. Well, I guess you guys aren't going to be able to put arrows because yours is a segment, but if you were doing this by hand, you'd want to make sure you put arrows. So the point on my graph that I found from the equation was 2, 3, and then we figured out that the slope was 1/2 by also looking at my equation. All right, pause, you do this next one, and then I will go through it with you once you press play. All right, step 1, identify the point from the equation. So it looks like I've got a +1 for my x coordinate, which means the x coordinate is actually a -1. And then I've got a +2, so my y coordinate is actually -2. So again, remember the y coordinate goes with the y and the x coordinate goes with the x. I'm going to graph that point, -1, -2. And then the slope, -1/3. How do I know that? It's the only other number in my equation. So from the point I graphed, not from the origin, from the point I graphed, I'm going to go not up 1, but down 1 because it's a negative, and then to the right 3. So I go down 1 to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3. And then from there, you can put your line. Make sure you've got arrows through it. There we go. All right, last one. Pause. Everybody needs to do this one on their own and then press play when you're ready. All right, identify the point from the equation. I see a +2, so my x coordinate is -2. I see a -4, so my y coordinate is a +4. Do the opposite. So when I'm graphing a line, there are two things I need is the location and the shape. So the point gives me the location. So -2, -4. Or sorry, I did that wrong. Hopefully you guys caught that before you wrote it down. -2, +4. That's the location of where the line's going to go through. Now I need to know the shape, which is the slope. My slope is -3. And if you're uncomfortable with just a whole number slope, you can put the invisible 1 underneath. So -3 over 1. So from my point, I'm going to go down 3 over 1. Go down 3 again over 1. So my line is pretty steep.